All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe I am now live to start the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here. Let's go ahead and take a look. I should be live right now. I'm excited to be here to share some really interesting news today with you guys. What's going on, Michael? Shout out to everybody slowly coming into the chat room. I got an indicator I've been playing around with over the weekend, back testing. I got a great website to show you guys today about backtest. Now, the problem is that this one has a lot more to do with iron condors. I'm still looking for a good free back tester for just natural trading styles. We had somebody create a free back test page specifically for DTE, zero DTE iron condor. So I'll show you guys that today. But folks, man, what a trading day today. What a trading day. We had the market look like it was going to sell off, but bounce back. You had huge, $4 or $5 swings in some very popular names. We'll take a look at. Love to look at some of the stocks you guys are checking out as well. But today again is just about me, showing you guys this interesting, indicator mix up that I found again just playing around, and something told me today to try it out, and it actually works. It actually works pretty good. So we're gonna go and work with each other today to put that together, and I want you guys to just use it on the stocks that you guys trade on a daily basis and see if it works for you. Uh, Obviously, there's some tweaking you might need to do on your end. There's already been some tweaking that I've already kind of looked at doing on it, and I'll show you that as well. And I just want your opinion on it, and I just want your opinion on it. I want you guys to try it out and see how it works for you. I played with it today using the 15-minute time frame, which you know uh, just seems to work for me on this. Well, it just worked today. It worked today. I don't want to say as if I'd been using this forever. No, it worked today. Okay, it worked today, so I'm excited about that. Um, you said you stopped trading and moving into the investment world. I trade a lot less now. Yeah, same here, man. I'm doing the same thing. I mean, because sometimes these days you don't have the time during the day like you want to. Particularly as my daughter gets older too, I'm finding myself having a lot less time. I'm getting bigger into the whole homeschooling thing too, just because the education system today is just. I mean, even if you go to the good schools, if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. These teachers today, I just a lot of them are just there for a check. But again, that's a different conversation. Um, but I digress. Yeah, I can understand what you mean about just going into the investment world. But I just again, when we're in the economic environment that we're in right now, I'm just not satisfied with putting my money in some of these stocks that are clearly going to be showing that they're not going to be generating the kind of returns they did for the last 10 years. You know, so all the best indicators you have to pay for, but very worth it. I agree with that too. I think there's some indicators out there that people are holding back on that you gotta because it's a secret weapon, right? It's truly is a secret weapon that some traders who have an edge. You don't want your edge to get out there, even though for the most part, if you've got a great edge, right, which Tasty Traders put out there, I put out there, which is basically their version, which I just changed it up a little bit. Everybody knows about it, but very few people are actually going to use your edge, believe it or not. Very few people are going to use your edge. Forgot the trader who had a documentary made on him in the 1980s. Very popular guy. He trades futures. His name is not coming to is on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember who it is. But anyway, he's a futures trader, huge futures trader, billionaire. And what's going on, Woody? Right? They made a whole documentary on it. It's actually on YouTube. Every time it stays on there for a couple months, he gets it deleted. I actually ended up downloading the video, and his whole process is explained in the documentary, right? He literally bought every video cassette of the DVD to take it out of circulation. But very few people have actually, ran with his strategy. Very few people actually know what, many people know what his strategy is, but very few people use it. All right. Paul Tudor Jones. Yes, thank you, Adam. Yeah. He's got a whole documentary of him in the 80s out there, with his old strategy, which is basically like going in the past and finding inconsistencies and exploiting those. Right? He's found that somehow the past and the future do have some very, significant and similar trading patterns that he can exploit. And people know it's out there. And, from what I know, no one's been able to really, take it and run with it and develop or create the same level of success. All right. You got to get into the proven stocks, Apple, BAC, collect divs. Yeah, absolutely. Slow but profitable. Trading is risky if you do it too much. I think we've all learned. But the fact of the matter is, there are people who've been fantastically successful day trading. We can't deny that, though. There are people who've been fantastically successful doing it. Now, I hate how they underestimate the losses, right? Because there are losses, and I don't care how successful you are, but that's not sexy. It's not sexy, making a video saying you lost 10 grand. It's not sexy making a video saying you lost $500. This back test I'm going to show you guys today, using the strategy I want to propose. I guess just an example. Again, I was playing around. It goes back from 2016 to 2022. You lose. There's a part where you lose like 22 days in a row. That's not sexy. You know what I mean? To put out there. It's not sexy to put out there. Yeah, Paul Tudor Jones is a billionaire trader. He's a billionaire stock trader who uses futures options. He specializes in futures options. Very popular. He's always on CNBC and has a very interesting trading style. Hasn't, if I'm correct, wrote any books or anything like that. But again, not as popular as a Warren Buffett. He's not, hasn't, I don't want to say been that successful because that's not fair, but obviously Warren Buffett has a trading vehicle, whereas Paul Tudor Jones is just an independent trader, right? Whereas Warren Buffett, he's very much a different style trader who has been able to build an investment vehicle that employs, hundreds of thousands of people and makes a shitload of money. I think they're still known. How much is it? It's like nearly $2 trillion in cash, something like that. I might be overestimating it, but it's nearly $1 trillion in cash, something like that. To the point where, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, you had a situation where the banks and their CEOs had flew out to go and see Warren Buffett to get bailed out. And by the way, there was a lot of conversation about that. In fact, we kind of talked about it here on the show, but there was no word about what came out of that. But there were videos going around showing all the private jets at the airport out there. All went out there to go see Warren Buffett because he's got the money. It was some crazy stuff. Right? Incredible using Lux Algo's incredible indicators. Jeff, you've mentioned this Lux Algo thing before, and I gotta write that down. Let me go ahead and just save it in mind because I had been meaning to check that out and do some research on that because I'm all about anything that can get people out of these horrible 9 to 5 dead end jobs that so many people are in right now that are sucking the soul and life out of them. You got people out here just doing meaningless work, questioning life. So if what you're saying is legit and can help somebody, let's put them on to that. Yeah, yes, sir. Whoever Buffett bailed out, I want to put money in. Well, just check out Occidental. He bought a huge stake in Occidental. He just double dipped into Apple. He double dipped into Apple. So he's making a lot of moves. He sold out of that transistor company in Taiwan. Again, I read so much news, I can't remember these names just off top, but there's a semiconductor, company out of Taiwan that um, he sold out of, like a huge stake, because like so many people and like myself, he believes that China will probably invade Taiwan before the U.S. elections. And I believe that too. I honestly think they will do it before the U.S. elections. They're not going to wait for Trump, because Trump will, more than likely blow them off the face of the earth. You know, whoever, yeah, absolutely. He probably slid them something, plenty of strings attached. Hey, Michael, are you talking about Paul Tudor Jones? Apple just started a 4.95. Yeah, I did see that 4.19 APY savings account for all Apple Card holders. I actually do have an Apple Card myself. I actually do have an Apple Card myself. You know, shout out to Apple for the 4.19, which is I mean, again, that's good. You're not going to beat inflation with 4.19, but again, if you're someone who's got significant amount of cash and you're not comfortable with what's going on in the market right now, uh 4.19 is not bad. 4.19 is not bad to hoard some cash in. Okay, because JP Morgan Chase isn't giving you that. SoFi isn't giving you that. There are a lot of other banks. Wells Fargo's not going to give you 4.19. I know that for a fact. I used to work there. And Bank of America. They're not giving you that kind of return. Those banks, they live and breathe on their name. And those are, for all intents purposes, hedge funds that are built, have been built to make their investors money and the people at the top money. And you, as a depositor, is to earn as little as possible, for all they care. What's going on? No user found. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on this trading indicator I looked at. So we're going to start first by introducing the super trend indicator. Some of you guys in here might be familiar with super trend. Some people have a love-hate relationship with it. There are quite a few iterations of it. But I do like this one here that's generated by this guy named Kevin C. It is open and free to use, so you don't have to pay for it. For those of you guys who don't know, this is an indicator that uses ATR to develop signals of buy and sell, right? Now, alone and by itself, it is, in my back testing, horrible in a trending market. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. I mean, this, if you go back 6 months here, up and down, I do like the fact that it doesn't repaint. So it doesn't, tomorrow these are not going to be in different places. Even if you go down to a 5 minute or a 1 minute, it doesn't repaint. So the signals don't change. If it sends you a signal, it's going to be there today, tomorrow, a year from now. So it doesn't repaint. That's a pretty good indicator. I like that. right? Use again, average true range, momentum to develop signals. But I noticed increasing the sensitivity helps in this indicator. Turning that average true range to 9 sends that signal to at least one more bar ahead, meaning if it gives a sell signal, I want that sell signal to come on that next bar, right? Or excuse me, that bar before it, because it tends to send the sell signal on the third bar in whatever time frame you're in. So if it's a 5 minute, it'll be like that fifth, you know, bar. It'll send that then. But I like it on the second. Again, play around with it. Tell me what you think. ATR multiplier 3.9 on that one. Okay. Again, just playing around with it this weekend. You might come up with some different numbers, but I just want to show you what I saw using this indicator. Okay. Now, to smooth out the signals in the trending market like we have right now, this is going to sound whack to use, but you need a moving average. Okay. And that moving average has to be an exponential moving average because it's got to be a little bit more sensitive than your standard moving average, right? As new information flows in. And we'll, again, go through some stocks here. Okay. And we'll change that to the 200. And I'm going to show you why here in just a minute. Because in and of itself, my camera's blocking the thing here. Actually, let me change the style up a little bit. Let me make it white. I like my lines really thick too. So it's just a lot more clear. In and of itself, I don't ever want to take. So we see what the trend is here, right? So the 200 gives us a trend, right? Just as it would if we weren't using that indicator giving us the buy and sell scenarios here. All right. So we want to talk about day trade. So let's go to, again, let's say a 15 minute. All right. So this is the 15 minute. And I want to bring this to your attention. What about using this indicator, both super trend and this 200 EMA, to only take long sides of the trade above the 200? In fact, I want you to backtest this on some of your favorite stocks right now. All right, because some of you guys I know are already doing your own thing and probably even ahead of me. And you're taking the long side above the 200 and the sell side only when super trend and the underlying is below the 200 moving average. Okay, so that means that I'm only going long when I get the buy signal as close to the 200 moving average as possible, working my way up, obviously. And then I'm only going to take the sell signal below the 200 moving average. All right, or crossing over the 200 moving average like before. I'm never, ever, ever going to sell above, even though some of those are pretty good. I mean, I'm looking at some of those pretty, obviously, if there's got to be maybe an indicator up there. I could probably use Bollinger Bands or Keltner, but I don't want to put too much on here. But obviously, when we get too far, that's a clear indication, as any moving average. When we get too far, that's an indication that you're probably overbought, excuse me. All right. But again, I don't want to take the risk because it clearly means that the trend is higher, right? There's a lot of buying pressure. So why risk, it might be a good indicator. Now that I mentioned it, you probably could sell some out of the money, calls here on an overextended position. But, why do that when the higher probability trade would be simply just to short the stock or buy puts as you're going on the other side of the moving average. Okay. And this worked for me today. We had a really interesting move today where, if you remember, the market, uh, we thought it's going to be a red day. And it was a very boring morning. It was a very boring morning today. We were relatively within 10 points up or down for quite a while. For quite a while. Excuse me, what was the? Yeah, here we go. For quite a while. And things didn't really start moving until noon. Okay. But things eventually got going. And the super trend did send a really good signal. And the signal worked out. It actually worked out. Okay. Let's go to that back to that daily chart. And you said zoom out on the daily. Okay. And again, ignore the sell signals on the long side of this of the 200. Ignore this. That's what I would do. I would just simply ignore. Just looking at the trade, I would just simply ignore all the sell signals on the long side of the 200. In fact, I'm actually working with the guy on Fiverr to see if what we can do to just get rid of them. Just get rid of it. All right. And build an indicator where you got, it's only going to give you the buy signals on the long side, sell signals on the short side as you cross over. That would just make much more sense. And again, that's in any time frame. All right. Let's take a look at what happened to NVIDIA today. I had to choose, a position. So I chose SPX today, but NVIDIA was incredibly valuable. I mean, look at this move. And again, hasn't repainted at all since this buy signal back on January 17th. Okay. Crossing above that 200. It called it. It called it. All right. And by the way, haven't even gotten to this far yet. It actually provides its own, support and resistance, not resistance, but its support levels. So if it breaks this support level, it's actually going to change and give you a different signal when that breaks. All right, as you can see here, here's the sell. The guy gave you a sell signal here back in August, and once it broke, let me move that out of the way because I think I'm blocking myself here. Once it broke, it gave you the buy signal. All right, it gave you the buy signal once it broke above that. Okay, as you can see here, this is NVIDIA. And again, hasn't repainted since. Hasn't repainted since. Again, I did make some changes to Super Trend to make it a little bit more sensitive. Again, you can play with it a little bit. Right? Again, what I love about it is that unlike the one that comes with TradingView, this one doesn't repaint. Right? So meaning if tomorrow it's not going to give you a new set of, what you're seeing today is going to be on this tomorrow. So take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this. Seriously, I want you guys to back test it on some of your favorite. Now, a great pump and dump right now that I've been following, and I've mentioned here on the show quite a bit of times. When I looked at this, and then I said, okay, this might be something. This might be something. All right. So this is a company that's falling apart. Numbers just aren't good. Acquisition costs are really, really high per customer. It's got a lot of problems here. It's got a lot of problems here. But again, just looking at how it called out this trade, I mean, the moving average alone was a great signal, but looking at what the super trend did to get you in, actually put out some pretty good calls. All right, actually put out some pretty good calls here. Okay, again, this sideways motion, I would never, again, never, ever go long on the other side of the 200. I just feel like this indicator doesn't do a good job on the long side below the 200. I mean, sometimes it'll knock it out the park like this. I mean, it'll, you know, but just wait. Just wait for it to just cross over. All right. Just wait for it to cross over. And then let it give you the signal and then run with that. Here's Bitcoin. All right. Here's Bitcoin. Some very interesting calls here. All right. Some interesting calls here on Bitcoin that looked, that looked really, really good. That looked really, really good. It actually called the move on Bitcoin a little early. This is on TradingView, Darth. This is on TradingView. The indicator is called Supertrend. All right. It's not the one provided by the company. It's the one that's been edited by a user. It is completely open source. So you can, in fact, if I were you, I'd grab the code and just put it in a text file and just keep it for yourself just in case. And by the way, for those of you guys who have been playing around with ChatGPT, ChatGPT does recognize PineScript, right? ChatGPT does recognize PineScript, and you can play around with the formula, add, another indicator on top, which again, I'm working with someone to do right now. Okay, but this is an incredible call. All right, this is an incredible call. Again, I didn't understand this short-term sell. Again, it gave a sell signal here, which that was a horrible call. I mean, again, that's why you just don't take those sell signals above the 200. I feel like the indicator just doesn't do a good job of those sell signals above, unless we're talking about overextended. I'm surprised it didn't catch this, or it hasn't caught it just yet. All right, something could develop here, but again, from what we know about Bitcoin, I wouldn't take that trade. Even if we get a sell signal here, I wouldn't take it. Okay. Again, this is the 200 EMA, and this is the super trend indicator. All right. Let's take a look at some more stocks here. All right. Here's Microsoft. Here's Microsoft. All right. Again, very kind of early on this Microsoft trade, but it worked. It worked. Okay. Now, I'm not going to lie to you here. If we, and this is the daily chart, right? This is the daily chart. I don't know if I'm going to be holding on a, this is an 11-point swing here. I mean, this was that 11 points or 51 to 67? Yeah, that's a 15-point swing here. I don't know if I would hold that. Okay. I don't know if I would hold that. All right. On a 15-point swing. But the fact of the matter is, again, sell signal below that 200. It gave it to you to take. And that made you a lot of money. That made you a lot of money. And it didn't even break its resistance level on that sell signal. Didn't break the resistance level for quite a few months. And you did hit some lows on the way there. But again, how many guys are going to hold a 15-point, 25-point swing? Not many of you guys are going to do that. And I'm not even going to lie about myself. I probably wouldn't do that, because you're talking about a good, you're talking, depending on your size of your trade, that's thousands of dollars. That's potentially thousands of dollars being lost on a move like that. And again, those buy signals, all right? Here was, this one for whatever reason went above, came back, didn't right, didn't cross support. The indicator told you to sit in it, right? Didn't repaint, didn't say, oh, it's time to sell. No. Momentum clearly gave the indicator reason to stay green. And here you are now, from 247 to 288. That's a 44-point move. That's pretty good. All right. Let's see what it did today. Let's just see what it did today. 15-minute chart. Okay. All right. Told you to stay long. Based on that open, I'm not a big fan of this move. I don't. I mean, obviously that gap up opening, I'm not chasing that long anyway. All right. Most of you guys in here, you know better than that. I mean, this I wouldn't. You're not chasing a gap open long like that anyway. So I'm going to give the indicator a little bit of doubt there. You give it a mulligan on that one. All right, I'm not chasing a gap up open. All right. This is interesting. Again, not taking this trade here either. Gap down above the 200 moving average. You're on the 15. That's a wicked bounce. You got to be really good to catch that one. This one, this is pretty interesting. All right, this is pretty interesting. This is an interesting move right here. All right, you would have killed that back on the 6th. Again, taking long trades as close to the 200 as possible when the you said I would use this on the daily only. Yeah, that would make sense. I could understand how you would use this on the daily only. But I would also seriously consider stocks that are already trending higher, that I could see why, on a lower time frame you might want to jump on it as well. You see, and that's a good question, Darth. What would be the win rate on something like this? But again, I don't have a means to test this strategy. Right now it's just pulling stocks out of a hat and then trying to figure out, well, would this have worked if I did? But yeah, I would love to see how, say, from 2020 to 2022, how good would you have done using this? How good would you have done? You know, how good would you have done? Let's look at some commodities right here. Let's look at GLD. Again, sideways. Not a fan. Not a fan on this sideways move here. This is, again, the sell call. Ugh. I mean, it actually turned out to be right, but boy, that bounce was mean too. All right, and it's still holding. It's still holding that sell signal on GLD. But I think, again, where this indicator really shines is making those calls as close to that 200 as possible off of the long when you're on the right side of the trade. You go long above, go short below. It does a really good job. All right. Maybe one of you guys can work on something we can do, for that downside protection. Someone mentioned looking at it in Forex. Man, I just wouldn't use. I don't know. Forex doesn't have a usual trading. I mean, anything can happen in Forex. So no genuine supply resistance pattern that you can trade a lot of times on Forex. It's just all over the place, right? But that's actually a good thing to do. Okay. Let's go back to 2020. All right. Again, this is GLD. All right. Almost not fair. Almost not fair to do. But again, great call. Great call. Let's see if these high beta stocks. Great sell signal on these too. Look at that. I mean, if you looked at any of those high beta stocks, it really called that crash on those high beta stocks. Um, Here's Beyond Meat going into 2020. This is probably not a great one to use. Let's see it more established. Let's see like a Wayfair. One of those stocks that had a monster move into 2020. Again, called it pretty deep, but it did a good job. Did a good job to call that move, Wayfair. It called it relatively early. Relatively early. You still made a lot of money if you chased it higher. But again, you got that up and down move. And let me zoom in a little bit. So you got that up and down move very, very clearly. Here's the up move for you to see. Again, you got that in April of 2020. Okay. And you rode that. And again, you're you're probably not going to ride this, this lower. So you're going to take profits here. Okay. And when that sell signal hit, that sell signal was really good. That was a really good sell signal. And again, ignoring the buy signals underneath, because it's just too risky. Because if they don't work, I mean, obviously this worked. All right. That one I showed you in April worked, but sometimes when it doesn't work, then you're kind of left hanging. Obviously, you make it up when it runs, and it's still still for the most part in a really ugly shape. And that's Wayfair. That's Wayfair. I'm thinking of another. Let's take a look at Zoom. No, ZM, right? I'm pretty sure it's ZM. There we go. Zoom is one of those stocks I want to pay attention to. Zoom. Okay. 2020. This stock was it was a stock that had been out there, but again, like nobody heard of Zoom the way COVID put Zoom on the map. I had known about it. Most of you guys in here who worked professionally have probably already heard of Zoom. It was a big competitor with the Microsoft product, and there's a Cisco product as well too that's very similar. But COVID really put Zoom on the map because of their free version. But nice call, right? See that beautiful call here too as well in April. Again, you actually don't get a really good signal on the moving average until February of 2020. But almost immediately from the launch of the shutdown, you get that buy signal. And that buy signal is strong. And you made a lot of money. You made a lot of money on this stock, man. A lot of money on this stock. And then I think maybe, again, sometimes just having the conviction and the belief in the indicator can just change everything. If you believed it on the go on the other side too, it did its thing. It did its thing, 100%. Let me see here. Again, I got my camera blocking my view, so you guys are seeing it better than I am right now. But I mean, what a call! What a call here on Zoom. What a call. Okay. Um, I mean, I don't know what else to even look at right now. I mean, again, very similar for all these high beta stocks. Again, PayPal's another one. That huge move from April of 2020. Okay, and then you get the sell signal. You get the sell signal again, slightly above the 200. So it can tell you when weakness is developing in the underlying, right? It does somehow identify weakness in the underlying. Now, again, that weakness doesn't always, you know, turn into what happened here towards the end of the lockdowns. That's why I really believe, again, selling on that side of the 200 isn't very, isn't the best, particularly on a higher time frame. All right, just wait for the confirmation. Yeah, just wait for the confirmation, which is crossing below the 200. All right, that 200 moving average is almost, just as it's supposed to do. It's just a nice confirmation signal that the trend is indeed, you know, severely broken and there's something wrong going here. Right? So the indicator says, hey, here's the problem. 200 is a confirmation. And your job as a trader is to take the signal. Right? And however it rides is however it rides. And you don't necessarily have to trade the whole move. It could be a situation where, you set, let's say you want a 3%, you know what I mean? A 3% move going down or whatever that could be. And again, I wish there was a way to truly backtest this, with a take profit at 3% or 4%. Maybe that would work out. Maybe that would work out. Okay. All right. So you guys can give me a signal or a ticker you would want me to check out. Let's take a look at X, which is US Steel. Nothing exciting right now. Um, Thinking of an AI stock, and we've already looked at Nvidia again, but Nvidia not giving any sell signals right now, and if anything, again, beautiful buy signal going back to late May. Excuse me, early January, mid January. Okay, so I wanted to present this to you guys today because it really, really intrigued me this weekend. I mean, I'm really, really excited um, about this. And again, it's not going to work 100% of the time. But you're if you're a day trader, you're happy, and there's a lot of ways to make a lot of money on 68% success rate. You know what I mean? Particularly if you've got a really, really, good way to manage your losses, which, for most people should be, anywhere between 20 to 35% of the trade. If you're down 25% in any trade, you should be closing that, man. I mean, it's not working. You know, could you get saved? But why risk it? Just close it. You know, if you're an iron condor, you'd look at 1x your net credit. Just get out of it. You know, if your credit's 400 and you're down 400, fuck it, man. It's not. It didn't work. Didn't work. All right. Here's BYDDF right now, giving a buy signal. All right, giving a buy signal right now, right closer to 200, and this could be the beginning of something. We'll see. This could be the beginning of something. Okay, on BYDDF. Um, Here's Weight Watchers. Okay, this is Weight Watchers. And this one is the one that I also looked into as well. This is interesting because I got to find out what does the indicator see. And again, I got to learn more about it. I'm still learning about this, and that's why I want you guys to look at it as well, because it's always good to have multiple set of eyes on this. And what does the indicator see about the accumulation of a particular underlying that it sets off the alarm? You know, because if you're looking here, they had that. Okay, you had the gap up move above resistance on the previous sell signal, but it didn't held it. You know what I'm saying? It held that buy as it hung above support, and it just boom exploded. All right. Now this Weight Watchers did release earnings, and earnings were very impressive. So again, accumulation had to have something to do with it. All right. Let's look at that original sell signal going back here of September of 2021. This is actually June. Oh, that's actually June of 2021. Again, another great call by the indicator. And again, I'm not seeing a lot of guys who are going to hold. This is $6 peak to trough there. So I'm not seeing a lot of people who are going to hold that. But again, if you did, great signal. Okay. PPSI. Don't know anything about. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Okay. So yeah, again, this is a penny stock. Don't know anything about it, but again, great signal here. I actually told you to get into this, and it's doing very, very, very well. I don't know what's going on in PPSI, but yeah, it is as you said, Boundless, holding up and looking good. I mean, there's obviously is a point where you're going to get overextended here, and this candlestick obviously tells you that there's a bit of resistance up there, but we'll see. I mean, um, but this out of all the candlesticks since that big move initially, uh, this is shown to see the most resistance of the highs. So you might be taking some more profit there tomorrow. Okay, that's interesting insight, Darth. Interesting insight. All right, and all you guys watching too, go. Don't hesitate to make some comments on what you're seeing out there. All right, we're all here just learning. Okay, we're all here just learning. And I'm just thinking about some other stocks that I'm not paying attention to that I should be right now. And you guys don't hesitate to give me any tickers. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, we had somebody bring up Goldman Sachs. They actually brought up Apple first, but Apple's doing the savings account with Goldman Sachs. Obviously, Apple doesn't have a banking license, so they've got to go in with a financial institution, and they're going in with Goldman Sachs, which is interesting because for those of you guys who don't know, the Apple Card is actually losing $1 billion a year. There's a great article that came out, I want to say earlier this year, maybe January or so, that the Apple Card is losing almost $1 billion a year. And the reason why they did that is because Apple has this card, which, by the way, has no fees on it. There's no international transaction fees. You can travel all around the world with this card. Uh, it has a relatively low credit score requirement to get in. I want to say you can get in with as little as a 660 credit score. You can get an Apple Card. So they've obviously suffered from a fair share of defaults. And again, as I mentioned, there are no fees, right? So they've left money on the table with this card. But as you can see, they mentioned in that article that they also understand that this is a long-term game for them and is developing here with this situation where now Apple's looking to extend itself into financial services. And that makes sense. It makes sense for them to do it because now what they've learned from this banking situation that just recently happened. I mean, if this account was already set up, you could have had billions of dollars transfer from a click of a button right onto people's devices with the brand that they trust, whether it be Goldman Sachs or Apple, right? Or Apple. So interesting to see what's going to develop of that. But look, Apple's a smart company, and they're going to make products and services that are going to, really push some people to the limit, you know. And if you're a mid-tier, middle of the run financial institution that's not really giving people, you know, a real serious benefit, then I think you lose out to a company like Apple. Once they start saying you want an Apple home loan, I know a lot of people would jump on an Apple home loan, particularly if it makes sense and it's cheap, right? Why not? They got the money, you know. If Apple can come out and give you a home loan that's 1% under the going, interest rate based on a no frills kind of, and knowing Apple, I wouldn't they would never be necessarily no frills, but just low contact, low doc. I think that'd get people excited. I think that'd get people excited. Here's Goldman Sachs about to look very interesting here in a minute. All right, here's Goldman Sachs about to look very interesting here in a minute. Again, sell signal below that 200 looks very good going down. Gave you the sell signal at 345, hit the low almost at 310, 311. Great signal on the way down. Had to be quick with it though. Again, this is a daily chart. All right, here's the daily chart. Let's see here. Oh my God. I mean, this call from April 10th is amazing. This call from April 10th is amazing. Let's zoom out of that a little bit. Now that's nice. You can't deny that. That's a nice call. I mean, that's just straight up great trading right here. I mean, this is, and again, we got some coders in the building. Why don't you guys code something that can catch this? Chat GPT, Trader GPT. All right. Send alert. Create an app that sends alert when a stock crosses the 200 moving average on a 15-minute chart. With super trend creating a buy signal. Yeah, we took a look at Apple, but again, Apple is this is another one. Again, horrible call here. This is, again, obviously the indicator sees something, but I mean this is a bad trade. And again, this is why I just don't like the trade. I don't like Again, the indicator when it gives a sell signal on the too far too far above the 200. I mean, again, sometimes it fucking works. That was, this is a, this is a, it's a $6 move. It's so risky because you can get these chop, 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 chop. What's going on, combo contracting service? How do you catch like WNT? WNT? Is this what you're talking about? WNT. What is? Oh, it's a O. WINT. Okay. I'm like Windtree Therapeutics. Oh yeah. I mean, I come on. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Dude. Uh, this is something else. I mean, this is just something else. This is just you know. There's nothing you can do with this. I mean, you get the sell signal. It's on 5 minute. I wouldn't look at this on a 5 minute. But then again, this is hey, yeah, don't know anything about this. It looks like almost like a pump and dump almost, but obviously, you got to have insight because obviously this was very very low volume. So obviously some news or some kind of pump or something like that got that excited. But obviously this is some type of news driven event. This is some kind of news driven event. Got some traders excited. More than likely, this is a stock that has uh, relatively very few shares outstanding, right? Maybe less than 50 million or 40 million. So, as you can see here, 12 million shares got the stock to move well over 100%, over 130% for the day, at its high, you know, gave you a sell signal on the 5 minute, but I mean, this is scary. These low floaters are very scary to short, you know. So these low float runners, man, you just got to have a real sense of feel, you know. That's all you can do on those. Yeah, I mean, you can make money on them. You just have to have a real feel. I mean, that these are the kind of stocks that go into those guys who talk about ticker tape reading, and I don't see anything when I look at the ticker tape. All I see is a bunch of numbers, and but there's some guys out there who really believe in ticker tape reading, and they tend to run after plays like that. Where it's just like a 1 day kind of 1 day, 2 day kind of thing, and they can see patterns in the tape that I honestly, when I look at it, I just see a bunch of numbers. But combo, yeah, there's money on plays like that. There's money, but again, you got to have a real feel. You got to have a real feel for what you're doing. Okay, here's QQQ today. Actually, excuse me, on the daily chart. All right, QQQ. All right. And again, like everything, had to sell off, that bounce. Again, we're crossing underneath the 200. I just feel like it just is such a great indicator. Such a great indicator on the sell side. Sell side, it's a great signal crossing over and going above. That buy side trade is so much more profitable here on that daily time frame on the long side of the trade. Okay, let's go to 15-minute. Again, it gave you a sell signal. What was that? On Friday at 11:30. Again, you just would have to. I mean, this is a $2. I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it. I'd be happy with the fake down here. Then yeah, I wouldn't take that. You know, fake out, fake out. Yeah, just wouldn't take it above the 200 moving average. Okay. Yes, boundless. That's what I meant. Yeah, and I got a video about that on my channel too, where guys say they really believe in reading level two, and I don't see anything. I mean, I really looked into it. If you see something, let me know. Maybe I'm not reading the numbers correctly, but you got some guys who really believe in that. But I honestly didn't see anything when I looked into it. Okay. So this is what I wanted to leave you guys with today, man, because um, there could be something here. There could be something here, especially if you know you got a lot of people just talking about the breakdown of the market, the breakdown of the economy. But so far, the Bulls have been winning, man. I mean, the Bulls have been making bank. I can't deny it, man. The Bulls are winning. You know, everybody's talking about this economy crashing and all that stuff. The Bulls are making bank. They're laughing all the way to the bank for the last 2 to 3 weeks here. You know, so if we end up in this situation where we're be breaking out of some trends, which is very close. I mean, we're very close to breaking out of some trends that we've been kind of stuck in here for the last couple months. And if that's what the situation is going to be, what the hell am I doing? Get rid of that. Then I'm all excited for it. You know, I'm all excited for it. We're really not that close. Maybe people are being a little too bearish here. Maybe people are being a little bit too bearish here. We're really not too far off some resistance levels that we've been under going back to September of last year. September of last year. Okay. PRST. Okay. PRST. Yeah. Let me respond. Yeah, PRST. Quick opinion on that. Um, yeah, that's not a very healthy looking stock on PRST. This is another one that's just kind of momentum driven right now, and I mean, just a long term time. This is just not something I would put my money in right now, man. Uh, yeah, I mean, look at this. Even the 15-minute, you're not even holding. Um, God damn, man. If you're in it and you've made some money, I'd take my money out of this. It's just the long term time frame doesn't say that this is a stock that holds high levels very well. And if you made some money, just take your money and run. If you're looking to make money on it, then it better hold this 287 level and see what it can do from there. But as you can see, it already has lost $1.50 from the high, because it's so momentum driven. ton of volume today though, man. A ton of volume. 110 million shares when usually trend. I mean, it's almost well over, 100%, not more than 100%, 1,000%. That's actually 10x. Excuse me, not 1,000, 10x. Its average volume. You say 500 to 5K. I mean, look into it. Hey, look, that's all I'm present. That's all I want to do, guys, is just present, different ways to look at the market. That's all. And again, Forex, here's Forex. Again, I'm looking at the exotics just because the exotics is what gives you. Oh, this actually would have been a really great Forex trade, though. Shit. It gives you those wild swings. But again, I mean, there's no. Oh God, this is all over the place. These spikes that can just like fucking destroy a leveraged account. I mean, oh God, Forex is just so dangerous. It's just so dangerous. All right. Euro USD. All right. That's actually a good signal. Oh shit. This is actually a pretty good signal. But again, and you gotta really know what the fuck you're doing. These are actually pretty good signals on Euro USD. It's actually a little more stable than I thought it would be. Again, not a Forex guy, but it's actually a little more stable than I thought. But again, when you're dealing with leverage, like some of these guys play on Forex, you make good money and lose a lot of money too. So you were thinking about shorting it? Oh yeah, that would make sense on that one. I mean, if you can get, you know, if you can get shares to short, that's the problem. And again, that's not always a guarantee either. But as you can see, it doesn't hold its highs very well, and it's not a stock that people want to continually be in. Okay, so I'm going to be making some videos on this. Yesterday was today was a winning trade on that using this signal on SPY on a nice 15-minute bounce. Again, this isn't even as close as I really wanted to be, but I just a quick, all right, on a quick spread. It was very nice move. I used SPX though. Right. Very nice move. So I only look at daily. Can I keep investing? I'll wait. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I can keep investing. Absolutely. And that's the thing you want to do, right? You want to hang on to a long-term. You want to have a long-term strategy, and you want to have, something in the short term that you're, just playing with the house money with. All right, something that you're playing with the house money with. Again, guys, if you're coming in late, go ahead and start at the beginning so you can kind of join us from the top. IIRX, since you're the only one putting in tickers. Integrated Rail and Resource Corporation. Yeah, man, very, very low volume here. Only 142 shares traded here. I wouldn't even touch something like this. I mean, you're going to have a horrible entry, horrible exit on something this low volume. I don't think this is a NASDAQ stock. This is an NYSE trading only 142 shares. Or is this an after hours number? Like 8,000 shares average volume. Yeah, man, I wouldn't touch anything like that. Unless you know something I don't know. Here's Verizon. Nothing exciting here. Again, trending sideways. Indicator just doesn't do good here. These sideways moves just does not do good here. Okay. When you're seeing this kind of sideways action, you really kind of stick close to the 200 and, you know, find where it could start going directional. Um, One stock that's going directional that not be going in the right way for the beginning, at least the beginning of this month, was Ford. Even GM. You see some GM was okay. GM about back above that. Let's see the daily here on GM. Yeah, I figured it was struggling. Yeah, GM has been horrible this year. GM has been very, very, very horrible. Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously, look, if you've got, if you've got the financial stability to go on the New York Stock Exchange, they're going to list you. You know what I mean? If you got the stability, you got the backing, they're going to list you. You know, the popularity of your stock, there's nothing they can do for you for that. Again, going public, offering your stock, all you're doing is just basically saying, meeting the company's, and this, when I say company, I mean New York Stock Exchange eligibility requirements, but they're not going to do anything to make your stock more popular. You do what other companies do. You run commercials that increase your goodwill and get your name out there, but there's nothing else they can do for you. You kind of do that by your performance, your products, and like I just said, running some ads and getting your name out there. Here's GM. All right, great signal coming again. Crawl coming down on the other side. Great signal on that. Great signal going up as well. And again, this is the daily chart. This is a daily chart. Okay, daily chart. Take a look at some other things here. AAL is the airlines. Here's daily time frame on the airlines. Sell signal on March 10th at 15. Okay. God, the airlines too are just horrible looking charts. Good Lord, these are ugly charts. A lot of spikes on the way down, you know. But again, horrible, horrible stock. You know, financial ETF. Not the prettiest chart, but trying to make its way back up. FRC. This was tough. This was tough to, this was tough to look at, because I thought this would be something that would bounce, but you know, again, the indicator saw something I didn't see. It caught something I didn't see. But obviously, again, when you have these on here, I mean, this is just a great call going on. This is a 2020 call right here. Here's the move higher. All right, in September of 2020, you had some nice growth, and then obviously there was some strong selling, insider selling more than likely. That got picked up as large shareholders begin to sell. And then we get the news. We get the news around here, right? I mean, we get the news around here that there was financial issues, but as you can see, the smart money was already slowly getting out. The smart money was already getting out of the stock. Which again, standard moving average, and this indicator was telling you. Boy, pulling this up, that's what really hurt, because I lost some money on FRC. Yeah, that's what really hurt, because it's like, damn, it didn't even the indicator didn't see any hope in this bouncing. It didn't measure any kind of accumulation to say, hey, this could maybe move from here. You know, it's still showing as depressed and a piece of shit. You know. Yeah, oh yeah, the rich had got the word. They had got the word some, in January, or going into January. I mean, there's some financial issues here. Yeah, let's look at Pac West. You know, here's Pac West. Uh, is Comerica still a thing? I don't think it's Comerica still a thing. Is that Fifth Third Bancorp? No, that's not the fifth. I always mess up on Fifth Third. Here's Fifth Third. You know, but yeah, let's KRE is the ETF for this regional banking ETF, and again, no sign of recovery. No sign of recovery. So there's clearly, again, even this rudimentary indicator can sense that there's something broken here. There's something broken here. Giving you the sell signal back, as you can see here, as support was crushed March 7th. You know, sell signal, and yeah, it just didn't work. Just didn't work. Here's a horrible fake out here, though. Oof, that's ruthless. That's a $3 move though, right here. But then it gave it all the way back, turning into a quick sell signal and a huge dump. Huge dump. Okay. Let's take a look at XRT. All right. XRT is another one because XRT is very Amazon heavy and very, very Amazon heavy. Here's Amazon still below the 200 moving average. And again, people aren't talking about Amazon a lot, but this new CEO since Jeff Bezos, he hasn't done a lot of he hasn't done very well since he took over for Jeff Bezos. And the media has actually been giving him a lot of protection. Usually, they would jump on a guy who follows a massively popular founder and he's failing like he is. I mean, the stock literally took a nosedive as soon as this guy joined the company. You know, this guy's been literally failure and cheap for Amazon. It's been horrible. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I wanted to present to you guys today. Didn't want to waste your time with anything else. I just wanted to present this to you, have you guys look at it, play around with it tomorrow in your paper trade accounts or in your real accounts, whatever you guys use. I think there could be something here, man. You know, we are really going into an age of co-pilot training, co-pilot living. Where you're going to have automated technologies helping you out to increase your ability to um, have the life you want. You know, and very well could be this very well could be automated for us one day, like it already is for so many people. Right, for so many people. Right, it's Amazon. Even Amazon. Even Amazon going back on the 13th. That's actually nah, it's about $3 on here, but shit, better than nothing. Let's take a look at Tesla. I'm surprised nobody brought that up. But Tesla has not done very well. All right, but that's 15. It's going to daily. Yeah, Tesla's been, good Lord, it's not been very good. Again, that trending shit, I don't, you don't like it. Again, look how it's been using the 200 as almost like resistance, right? Tesla, yeah, look at that. What a great call. What a great call. From 286, to 111. What a call. Again, many people wouldn't ride this. I mean, this is a $36 move, peak to trough here. I mean, you're not, a lot of people aren't going to ride that bounce, but I mean, if you hung tight, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? I just, again, the signals are really, really, really good from above the 200 moving average when it sends you to you that close. Just take everything. Why not? Just take every. I mean, even if you get faked out here, if you rolled the other ones, he did pretty well. Even if you got faked out, which clearly would have gotten here. Don't get me wrong. These are $25 moves here. These are $25 moves here from moving average to the peak. So you also like to use double super trend, one longer and one that signals quicker. Oh, okay, Cali girl. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll play around with that. I don't want to, fool my audience right now since I've already showed them something for the last hour. But I'll play around with something like that and see. You don't want to encumber yourself. You got some of these guys out here that have 10, 15 signals on, and I just feel like trading isn't that difficult. Particularly when you have guys out here making so much money not using anything. I mean, they're just literally using candlesticks. And, they're just looking at a candlestick and, hey, breaking support, breaking resistance, doji, you know. So it's some crazy stuff. Darth, I was using the 200 EMA, by the way. I'm using the 200 EMA. Okay. I'm using the 200 EMA. In other words, for one for entry, one for exit. Okay. Yes, Cali girl, back doing, yeah, it got real burnt out. I mean, I went 3 years every single day, damn near every single day for 3 years. So I got tired, but I'm back on it. It's just sad that now I'm back on it, though. Everybody else is kind of like, you know, people who didn't want to live really, people who weren't in love with trading are now going to the wayside. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm not going to take up the rest of your night. This is what I wanted to show you guys, man. So, uh, again, continue to look into this. There's a lot to build on here. I'm going to continue to work on what I'm seeing here because I think uh, there's got to be a way to kind of play those or at least signal, when to get out because obviously it does a great job telling you when to get in, but getting out is, if not more important than getting in sometimes, right? And that's kind of where you have to kind of set your own, outs where, you just got to find what works for you because not many people are going to just kind of ride trends, even though we all should, but these things, these things can bite you in the butt if you let it ride too long. We've all, made a couple thousand and then something bounces and next thing you know you're like, damn, I was up X amount of dollars and now all I'm taking in is this because I let the trade ride too long, right? You let the trade ride a little too long. Okay. Right now, I'm using interactive brokers. Right now, I'm using interactive brokers right now. Okay. And I have been now for some time. Right. Thinkorswim is still really good. All of them are pretty much the same now. I mean, they're all giving you free trading. They're all giving you great customer support. They're all giving you a debit card or whatever it is. I mean, they're all pretty much the same now. You know, they're all pretty much the same now. A couple of years ago, there were some real differences between, but now pretty much all of them are. I mean, heck, even Robinhood. Robinhood is giving you phone support now. That's crazy. Still not as good as a full service broker. You know, but they're doing their thing now too. You know, after they got pressured into stop doing that email support crap when you out here, holding people's life savings. All right. Again, here's Tesla trying to do some things. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all of you who joined me into the building today. Again, really quick and to the point episode today. I'll be back on Wednesday with some more examples because I really want to keep playing with this now that obviously we're trading all week this week. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I haven't really day traded in quite a while because I've just been in love with these 45, 60-day iron condors. This is automatic money, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I be in my feelings sometimes when I see these guys who make $7,000 a day. I'm like, motherfucker, how the fuck you making all that kind of money? And and I'm at the point where now I can tell who's for real, and then who's just bullshitting. Because I say, okay, this motherfucker's been around for a long time. He's definitely with it. He's got the skill. He's got the ability. I've seen him do. Put in the time and effort, go through a lot of different, iterations of his trading style, and then figure something out that works. Again, that's not going to be 100%, right? That's not what we're doing here, right? You really want to be like 55, 56% accuracy, in terms of, and then obviously just managing your losses when it doesn't work out. Okay. And I still got 15 people in here. Oh, quick. Oh, shit. Can I show you guys something real quick? Hold on. Let me not hide my chart. Let me show you guys something real quick, too, as well. Real quick, since I don't have too much time to talk about it. So we had somebody run and create a backtest website for iron condors. And let me go ahead and just give you the link. And no, I'm not trucking. I'm not trucking any longer, man. Yeah. You got to get back to that. You're right. We got to get back to that. So this is a backtest website. Smart selection. Okay. Can I just show them this real quick? All right. So this is the backtest website. Build your own backtest. All right. Now, the thing I hate about this is that it's just for iron condors right now. 0DTE SPX trading. And you can kind of put in kind of what your trading strategy is. And I'm going to show you guys the trading strategy that I'm kind of working on right now and just kind of give you the results based on this test. Okay. From 2016 to now. Okay. So let's kind of put in what I look for. All right. Target delta is 07. We're looking for about 7 delta on our iron condors. Spreads, 25 spread. And again, those of you guys who know what I'm talking about, on SPX. That means 25 on the wings. That's quite a bit of capital. For those guys who don't have a lot of money, you're going to start out with 5. Even though 5 or 10 wide doesn't give you the winning percentage, and it is low cost. It is low cost though. But you want to work yourself up to about 25, and even beyond 25, then your cost basis just doesn't make sense, and the risk doesn't make sense. All right, we're gonna do just one contract. Okay, we're just do one contract. Starting balance, just give us just $10,000. Okay. Stop loss, just do 1x. Okay, 1 times credit that you take in. Expiration target is expiration. Commissions, yeah, just do $1.65. $1.65 on each leg. Fees, not per spread. Slippage, just because you never ever get the price you want. Okay, lose a nickel on slippage, open and close. Okay. Start date will leave blank. Start date will leave blank. Both puts in calls for these iron condors, of course. Again, when you're putting on a daily iron condor, you never really want to go in before noon, right? Just because there's a lot of volatility, and volatility between 9:30 and noon. Historically, that's the most. Don't get me wrong. Yes, you do get those end of the day runners. I get it. But historically, between 9 and noon is the most. Okay, so we're going to mark all these afternoon for our entries. Not saying we're going to enter each time. That's just saying we're going to look to enter after 12 to close. All right, allow for re-entry. That's fine, of course. And we never trade FOMC meeting days. Even today, I do not trade FOMC meetings. Okay. All right. So we're going to run this test, and then we're going to see what it gives us. All right. So it's working on that. Again, the website is Trade Automation. I did give you that in the chat room, and we're going to let it do its thing until we get some results here on what this result could be. And again, I only taken 7 delta, but this, you can take in a lot more. Okay, 7 delta is kind of far from the price action, but again, I'm more into having a higher winning percentage, and I don't mind, taking a slightly larger loss once in a while if I get the higher winning percentage, because I'll be able to manage, I'll be able to manage my capital. And when you're only taking 1x net loss, right? 1x your net credit, I'm okay with that. All right. Meaning that if I'm going to take in $200, I'm down 200, I'm closing the trade. I'm okay with that. Okay. I'm okay with that. And then when I say 200, I mean me being that with one contract. Okay. I'm meaning with one contract, because if you're taking 70 delta, okay, that's $70 for the most part. Okay. Well, not necessarily all the time. Not necessarily all the time. But you'll basically be around there, between $70 and $240, depending on one contract. All right. Just let it doing its thing. Data's coming in. Just bear with us here. Shouldn't take too long. Shouldn't take too long. Okay. Here's the results. Okay. What, can I zoom in or what? Can y'all see that, or do I need to zoom in? Let me see. Do I need to zoom in a little bit? Nope. Oh, it's not even gonna let me zoom in. Shit. Okay. I really hope you guys can see that. All right. So as you can see here, it starts from 2016 all the way to 2022. All right. from 2016 to 2022, right? You start off with $10,000. During the year, you do end up losing, you do getting as low as 7,300 in the account. Okay, you do get as low as 7,300 in the account, but you end up the year up 245%. Okay, now this is you using an iron condor at 7 delta every day after 12 o'clock. Okay, so 7 delta on each side. You're not even, it's just completely mechanical. Just you going in there at noon, 7 delta each side, and whatever happens, happens. That's what you're doing. Okay. Between 2016 and 2022, your $10,000 turned into $523,000 after, yeah, after 6. I mean, this is a solid return for 6 years. It's an incredible return for 6 years. Obviously, you know, you start off with the huge return initially, and then of course, it becomes more reasonable as years go by. Uh, and that has a lot to do with the fact that you're not using that much size anymore. Um, but here's the win loss ratio, 61.87%. All right, 61.87%. That's a pretty good win percentage. 6 out of 10 trades, and that's what you kind of get for an iron condor, right? I mean, that's kind of what you're going to get, for a day trading an iron condor. That's about reasonable. Obviously, on a higher time frame, if you were to go 45, 50 days out, you'd actually be higher. You'd probably be, you know, 45 days, 7 delta. You'd probably be anywhere between like high 70s, maybe even the 80s. Particularly if you don't hold to expiration, but you did to like 50% of net credit. Um, Let me just see what you guys are talking about here. Okay. Um, but yeah. Okay. Here's your winning days. Total winning days 694. Losing days 332. And again, this is over 6 years, right? This is over 6 years. Total wins 15,026. Losses 9,262. Again, over 6 years. As you're entering and exiting, certain days sometimes entering more than others, right? Adding come contracts some more than others. Okay. Average winning day across the 6 years is $1,018.99. Again, that's again over the 6 years as your account grows, right? As your account grows. Okay, average losing day $583.88. Biggest losing day $3,575. Biggest winning day $4,332. All right. You had 19 consecutive winning days and only 5 consecutive losing days. Only 5 consecutive losing days. Your worst drawdown was 26.84%. And by the way, that happened in your first year, which was 2016, a relatively, I would say, volatile to the upside, if anything. Because if you remember 2016, that was the year that Trump got elected. Right? That was the year Trump got elected, and you had an incredible market in 2016. So more than likely, I can tell you that your call side was just being blown up a lot in 2016. Your call side was just being destroyed in 2016. 2020, pretty good. 2021, 2022 is actually pretty good too. I'm actually surprised 2021 and 22 you didn't lose that much money Again, that's kind of what helps. Again, that 25, again, getting those 25 wide, it really, really, really helps. Really, really, really helps. Okay. 19 consecutive winning days was your highest. So again, you don't win literally every day for a month straight. You don't get that. Again, your best consecutive winning days was just 19. So you got to get used to losing. Uh, you know, 19 days consecutive winning. So losing does happen quite a bit. Okay. Matter of fact, again, 38% of all your trades are losing trades. So nearly 4 out of 10 times you're going to lose. But over time, you actually made quite a bit of money. Okay. You made quite a bit of money. All right. All right. So that was basically me putting and showing you guys a back test of a trading strategy. All right. That's a website where, again, I put it in the comments. An Iron Condor based SPX 0 DTE backtest website where this person has put this website together for you to try out 0 DTE spread strategy. And that's what I designed. And I think it could work. Okay. It could work. Again, 2016 to 2020, you turned 10 grand into 500 plus $1,000. Could it work now? I think again, in playing around with it, I think you could, but again, are you psychologically ready to lose 4 out of 10 trades? How many of you are psychologically ready to do that? To lose 4 out of 10 times. Easier said than done, man. Easier said than done. All right. And then to stay disciplined enough to trade responsibly. But I think 7 delta it could be a sweet spot. And again, you could increase that. You could increase that to 15, you could increase that to 15 delta and make more. But I can almost promise you that your win ratio will be lower. You better have you better keep that 1x cap on your losses. You said 4 out of 10 ain't bad if you can make 500K. I agree with that. I agree with that. This is why it's so exciting now to be living in the time we're living in, where now, anybody can, with a little bit of talent and some coding knowledge, you can create these back tests for people using, Chat GPT and these other AI software to go out and, literally look into the future using the past. Look into the future using the past. Because again, $10,000. I'm not starting with 100K. I'm not starting with $1 million like some of these people who are paper trading, and you can get up to $1 billion. That was $10,000. Put it on a credit card. I got a credit card right now with 15 grand on it, and I have not even used. I got this credit card called the X1 card. Do I have my wallet in? I don't have my wallet in here. It's the X1 credit card. They gave me 15 grand. All right. I'll never use that card. I don't like the interest rate on the card, but looks good on my credit. So, would you take a risk like that? How many people would be willing to do that? If you ain't got shit, you should. You ain't got shit to begin with. I mean, you ain't got shit to begin with. That's why I don't have nothing against these people who took out these PPP loans for, they went and did that paperwork and ended up with 100,000, 200,000. Y'all was trying to scare them like they was really go out there and do time. These folks ain't done no time. They got the bag and did no time. I'm talking about the people who went and got 40, 50, 60. I mean, they put numbers on the people who, you went and got 20 million and all. I mean, why would you do that? Come on, man. You knew them white folks weren't going to let you get that, get a bag like that. But, if you went and got yourself 20, 25, 30, they're like, oh, that nigga got 20,000. Fuck him. I mean, that's basically what they're doing to those people. Hey, you ain't got yourself 20, 25. I'm mad I didn't go get myself an extra 20. I could have got myself 25. Shit. But I'm thinking them white folks gonna come after me, but shit, they're like, nigger got 20,000. We want bigger fish. Yeah, here's 20,000, nigger. Get out of here. Yeah. All right, man. Let me get out of here before I start rambling and get myself into trouble. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you learned something today, man, go ahead and follow me. Press like, subscribe on this video right now. Help a brother out. Man. Built this channel on penny stocks, but I'm not talking about penny stocks anymore. So I gotta build a new audience, man, who loves some of this more, this deeper shit, man. It's real, consistent, everyday shit, man. Not no crackhead trading. So I appreciate your help by liking, commenting on my videos, following me on social media. I appreciate that. Big Onk, what do you mean? How did I do what? Shout out to everybody who joined me in the chat room today. Big Onk, Cali Girl, Darth Kermit, Combo Contracting, Blue Cousin. Who else was in here? Boundless. Adam Gergis was in here. Ukresh Gupta. Appreciate you for joining me, sir. Kuro Network. You missed them 4% CD saving accounts back in pre-2008. They never want to do that again. Hey, man, let me tell you something, Kuro Network. If you're still in here, you can go back to the early 70s, mid 70s. Bro, they had accounts where they were giving people like 17% on their money. If you go back to like the 1970s, getting 15% on your money at the bank was nothing. Like literally 15, 14%. It was crazy the kind of money you could get just having your money in the bank. Jeff, what's going on? Appreciate you again for joining me here. Everybody who was in here, Michael, what's going on? Who were in here earlier, I appreciate you, bro. Okay. Did I walk it through ChatGPT? No, man, I just showed a new strategy. Again, check out the earlier videos. I get right into it so you can see how I put this all together. But that website that I just showed you guys, that's just something how, look, you can just build your own strategy, man. Okay, you can just build your own strategy, and I put that link in the description. Or I will put it in the description for you guys to view. All right, so you all get out of here, get yourself some sleep. Tomorrow is another trading day.